We also have with us Amar Singh of Angel Broking now joining in. Amar, in terms of your recommendations for the day, what are your top trades?
Yeah, very good morning. The first one is Amara Raja Batteries. What we are seeing in this is that the stock has been holding firm, and technically it's looking strong on the charts, be with the short term, the long term, and as well as the medium term. So clearly reflecting that any pullback should be used as a buying opportunity. It was witnessing some consolidation around 875, 880 levels, but that has been taken out and it continues to hold firm. So any pullback in the stock towards 875, that can be used as a buying opportunity with a stop loss of 844 and a target of 925 in the short term. The second stock to look at is Axis Bank. What we're seeing in Axis Bank is that the stock looks extremely strong now on the short-term charts, as well as the medium-term charts also is looking positive. The long-term charts, I would say that still it has a positive bias, but more or less still any opportunity can be used as a buying opportunity. So Axis Bank towards 540 levels, that can be a very good buying level, with a stop loss of 519 and a target of 578 in the short term. And the third stock that I would recommend is Cadila Healthcare. What we are seeing here is that this stock appears to have bottomed out on the medium-term charts after correcting from almost 550 levels. Currently, it's around 400 odd levels or so. And even on daily charts, it's more or less on the oversold territory. So clearly reflecting that there can be a pullback in this stock. So any pullback towards 395 odd levels can be used as a buying opportunity with a stop loss of 383 and a target of 422 in the short term.
Right. Amar, also I want to ask you one question here is that there are a couple of stocks again which are showing some good strong long additions here. So number one, again, the steel counters, JSPL, Tata Steel, how are they looking to you? And I want to add the third spectrum here, perhaps, how is JSW Steel also looking to you? Because looking at the move yesterday, it was more about Tata Steel and JSPL, but now again, is the JSW Steel perhaps, is there a time to catch up for that stock also here?
See, if you look at the steel, I would first talk about the major steel stocks. See, what's happening here is that the stocks, they were beaten down. There's no doubt about it. If you look at Tata Steel from almost 750 levels, it had witnessed almost 550 levels, and there is a pullback. So the long-term trend, I would say, isn't that it's not a negative. Yes, it does indicate that there is some consolidation. But at lower levels on the daily charts, there was some positive divergence on the charts also, and somewhere Tata Steel was also forming a base around 550, 570 odd levels. So effectively what it meant is two things. Those on the short side, they were covering the shorts, and those who wanted to enter the stock, they would enter around these levels, because the risk-reward ratio was very favorable around these levels, 550, 570 odd levels. And technically I would say that still there is some upside momentum, but on the upside I had mentioned earlier also that 625, 630, that's going to act as a level of resistance for Tata Steel. So that those who are on the long side, they should look at booking profit around those levels. And looking at some other stocks in terms of Jindal Steel and Power, if I look at that, here the long-term chart I would say is extremely strong. If I compare it with Tata Steel, this is stronger, and also so any pullback can definitely be used as a buying opportunity. It appears to break out of a range of around 280 to 85. That's a level that it needs to break out above. So this is one stock one can definitely look at. And I would say that yes, overall steel stocks, if you look at the steel stocks, we do see that there is some positive momentum, and also this momentum could hold for some time. The levels, as I talked about, for Jindal Steel, upside resistance around 280, 85, that's the level. So if someone is buying, someone has bought around 230, 240 odd levels, then they should look at booking profits around that level.
Well, that's the word coming on steel here. Gaurav, Amar, coming to you, looking at the hotel pack, basically how is that entire pack looking to you? Because results again have been very strong here. So Oriental Hotel, again, numbers are very strong. Looking at the move in the ITC, and over the last few sessions, we have seen some very strong moves in the hotel stocks here. So is it a day where actually we can expect a rally happening in the hotel stocks here? So how is Oriental Hotel looking to you after strong numbers? Can that stock actually register some good gap up? And number two, I want to follow up on ITC and Indian Hotels. ITC also an exposure to hotel stocks also here. So all the three stocks, Indian Hotels, ITC and Oriental Hotels here.
I would say that looking at Oriental Hotels first, Oriental Hotels has definitely witnessed a sharp up move. If you look at it from almost 40 odd levels, it's gone up to 53, so it's gained more than roughly around 40% or so. So clearly reflecting that, and the long-term charts definitely remains extremely strong for Oriental Hotels, no doubt about it. There was some consolidation and there was some selling pressure which had come in from almost 70 odd levels to close to 40, and then it's bounced back to close to 53. But it's unable to take out the 60 level, because that's going to act as a very strong resistance for Oriental Hotels. So I would not suggest that this would be a good level to buy, because higher levels will definitely meet with selling pressure and profit booking. Ideally, the level to one can look at buying is around 48, 47. That can be a good level to buy if one gets an opportunity, because the long-term trend remaining up, so any pullback should be used as a buying opportunity. And the upside, the initial target would be in the range of 60, 62. Talking about the other stocks which you mentioned, I'll talk about first about ITC. See, what we are witnessing in ITC is that we've been talking about this stock for quite some time, that this stock is one of the stock which really didn't perform much, but over the last few, I would say, weeks, it's moved from almost 250 levels to 282 levels, and currently, I would say technically it's very strong on the medium term as well as the short term charts. However, the long-term charts, they will require some more, I would say, consolidation and also consistently trading above 285, 290 levels for it to really show that bullish momentum. But yes, ITC, again, any pullback should be used as a buying opportunity. Very good stop loss is going to be below 260 levels. So ideally, any pullback towards 275 that can be used as a buying opportunity, because on the upside, the stock seems to lose momentum the moment it reaches around 290 to 300 level. So that would be the level wherein one can book profit, because consistently trading above 295, 300 is what is required for ITC for any major or significant rally in excess of 8 to 10%. Otherwise, the stock will trade in a range, I would say 250, 260 in the downside and 290, 300 on the upside. And the other stock which you talked about, Indian Hotels. So if I look at Indian Hotels is also has a similar pattern as compared to Oriental Hotels. So Orient Hotels. So anywhere it is also reflecting the same pattern. Upside, the long-term trend definitely remains positive. But what we are witnessing again is that on the medium-term charts and even on the short-term charts, there is a loss of momentum. And I would say some bearish divergence on the charts as well. So clearly reflecting that Indian Hotels will meet with extremely strong resistance around 155, 160 odd levels. Currently it's around 142, 143. But yes, any pullback can be used as a buying opportunity. It has got extremely strong support coming around 125, 130 zone. So the stop loss needs to be below 125 one wishes to purchase. So that's all for Indian Hotels.
Fair point. So all the three stocks again. Hotels perhaps could be the wild card today.
Amar, what is the trade on Arvind after weeks of waiting? Stellar set of numbers, and the stock zooms 5% yesterday. At 440, does the uptrend look intact? Could it be a buy this morning?
Yeah, looking at Arvind, definitely Arvind is looking positive on the charts, and there was a breakout also. And technically, what we see on the long-term charts is that it has been witnessing some loss of momentum because it's unable to breach above the 440, 450 mark. So, however, the benefit of doubt definitely would go to being on the long side, because the short-term trend as well as the medium-term trend, they also continue to remain positive. It did witness some correction from almost 460 odd levels to 360, and then it's bounced back. So yes, any pullback in Arvind can be used as a buying opportunity, because it has consolidated, recently broken out of a range of around 410-15 odd levels. So any pullback can be used as a buying opportunity. The level one can buy, a good level would be around 410 odd levels with a stop loss below 400 and a target of 435, 440 on the upside.
Jay, Amar, two stocks that I want to view on. One is KPIT and the other is NIT Tech. How are both those counters looking this morning?
Yeah, looking at KPIT, first I'll talk about it. That KPIT is one stock. It's been means defying all laws of gravity and continues to go up. Technically, it's very strong on the long-term charts as well. And even the short-term as well as the medium-term charts are clearly reflecting that the bullish momentum which the stock has been witnessing is on a one-sided, I would say, one-sided up move. So any pullback, currently it's around 260 odd levels or so. So any pullback should be used as a buying opportunity. It has got some support because earlier it was consolidating in the range of 240, 250. So that should act as a very strong support zone. So buying opportunity is around those levels. Whereas on the upside, I would say that 275, 280 is also possible. But on dips, one should buy because it's now in overheated territory across all different time frames. That is it. That means it's in overbought territory. So clearly reflecting that higher levels, the stock definitely is likely to move given the pattern and the structure which the stock is in. But one should look at buying on dips because that would justify the risk-reward ratio. And the other stock which you talked about, NIIT. If I pull up that stock, so NIIT Technologies, what we are seeing is that this stock also is displaying similar patterns, except on the daily charts, because on the daily charts we witnessed some correction from almost 1200 levels. The stock is currently trading around 1064, 65. But yes, it has got very strong support, and the long-term and the medium-term trend for this stock remains extremely positive. That's the reason the stock will find very strong support in the range of 1020 odd levels. So that's if one wishes to buy, the stop loss needs to be below 1000 levels, and the upside one can look at around 1140, 1150 on the upside, because the high that was made on 30th of April 1192, that should act as a short-term top for this counter.
All right, Amar. As a trade on Federal Bank, what should the view be? It consolidated between 90 and 100 for the longest time, finally saw some move beyond 100, but the result seems to have wiped that off completely. At this level now, would it still make sense to short? Will you play for a pullback rally, or do you expect this stock to settle into a range once again?
I would say that more or less it appears that 85 to 90, that should act as a very strong support zone for this stock. It did manage to trade higher and inch towards 100 odd levels, but it's not been able to sustain. And technically, I would say even the long-term charts are clearly displaying that the stock definitely has some support around 85, 90 odd zone. So I would not suggest that this could be a good level to short. Let the stock consolidate. So I would say better avoid the stock right now.
Yeah. Did you